Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Pub Talk, episode 2. So plenty to get through on this one. More notably, in-game. So a lot of the talk about the officials, bunker, things like that. Then we'll go over to the international side of things, rep footy, origin, and all the like. So again, thank you very much, Caxton Street Brewing Company, for hosting. It's a tremendous venue to host Pub Talk, which just it suits down to a T. So very thankful, and very thankful for everyone here. So myself and Trav from League of Inches, Link from the United, Nick Davis, just the voice of everything at the moment, Nova, Broncos, and just life in general. And then Retro, just the voice of jerseys. So, and now that I've done that, the voice of moving on, because that was a fantastic intro from me.
Nailed it.
I did a very good job there. Very, very good job. Let's get straight into it, guys, because this one is a big one. We're going in-game from just the opening kickoff. I'm going to let you, Link, take the opening hit up for us, because firstly, I think we always think just straight away officiating. There's always so much talk around officiating and where it's at the game and what's at a poor level. Talk to us.
Oh, I guess it's the bane of all rugby league supporters' existence is that C word, mate. The consistency, isn't it? It's, what we want to see in round one is what we want to see come grand final day, which, it's hasn't happened. Will it ever happen? I don't know. It just seems to be more and more intervention, whether it be technology or the bunker to solve certain things that it doesn't seem to solve. We still see these howlers coming out of the bunker, and we're all sitting there. All us pundits can see with our own eyes what the issue is, but the bunker doesn't identify it. It's a balancing act. Have we invested too much in it now? Is there too many moving parts with the officiating of the game? Or is it the pieces are in the right place? It's just, for whatever reason, we can't seem to execute properly. I guess that's what we're going to be here to try and solve, boys.
Yes, we will. Nick, look, you're very happy with the officials because it means you won the comp this year. So they obviously did a
terrible
job.
Terrible.
There was a couple of decent calls for the Broncos.
Things worked out well, I'll say that. But look, and I will declare my hand here. I'm still learning the game, so I do come with quite fresh eyes. And I think to the point you've made, Lincoln, and even I've been able to pick up on this over my years. Sometimes the sign off on a call sometimes happens far too quickly, and there's these where they try confirm, got I'm like, no, you've got the technology. Go back and have a look at this. Like the fact that any video technology is brought in to take out the howler. But sometimes I think we are worried about the overall entertainment products moving so fast that we go, yep, let's just move on from this. And these moments, we know these calls in 80 minutes can affect the results, can actually turn a game.
So you don't want to lose a fast game. You want to win a slower game.
I love how fast and entertaining the game is, but I just want to see just that little, and this probably annoys some fans, but I go, if there's any doubt, I would rather, instead of just going, that's enough, well, let's just move on, I'd rather actually investigate it, because I've seen too many calls for so many fans go, you know what, if you just took the time to go 2 or 3 more camera angles, I know you've got them, it was there, or it wasn't a try, or it was out, just something to, I don't know, maybe appease the fan base a bit more rather than just sacrifice it for the sake of speed.
I reckon what's happened over the last couple of years with the technology side of things, it's actually had a negative effect on referees in general, because they're almost second-guessing themselves so many times. They know they're about to get crucified publicly if they make a wrong decision, because it gets brought down frame to frame, to which the game was never done, which is just modern technology with sport, which is fine. Is that the only problem, though, with officiating, Retro?
That's the fundamental problem is not what happens on the field, it's what happens before that.
Yes.
So at one point, the NRL, in conjunction with a bunch of lawyers, decided that the most imminent threat to the game was head contact, and that we were going to get sued out the wazoo if we didn't stamp on it. And we saw that Magic Round crackdown, and everything else is ensued from there. The last couple of weeks of finals, the clock got wound back to 2000, which I kind of liked. And for a while, we just kind of lost the concept of that accidents happen. This whole notion of duty of care and who has duty of care, I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we let lawyers kind of dictate what happens. Then the referees just get told, do this. Then they do it. And then they're the scapegoats for why things are wrong. So I'm actually glad they got rid of that press conference where that Graham Annesley or whatever would come out and then tell everyone what they got wrong. What's the point?
It did more harm than good.
You're
eh?
going to change it. Like, what other workplaces your boss come out Monday morning and say, "Oh, Fred did this and he did that," and I think that was a total load. We can talk a little bit how the bunker actually works in a second. I did a little bit of homework on this about how those two things interact. But the issue is not with the referees. You get things wrong. That just happens. It's what's happened before that.
I disagree. Sorry, I seem like I'm the only one.
No, I like it.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree in terms of what you're saying beforehand, but there is some seriously wrong issues with what these refs are doing at the moment. And yeah, maybe they're second guessing themselves, but there are some. Ashley Kine don't give no shit about whether he second guess himself. He definitely doesn't second guess himself. He's just a shit ref. He's not the only one. These referees, the problem that I've got with some of these rules is they're not black and white. They're too interpretation. That's the word I'm looking for. There's too much interpretation in the rules, and adding the HIA stuff again has become too much interpretation. My other issue with that is that not only is it interpretation, the interpretation of the rule changes week to week. And 1 week, so for 4 weeks this year, so let's just go from here. So for 4 weeks this year, we had a whole different game. They came out and did that. It came out and did what they were going to do, change the rules. We had a whole nother set of it. Then they came out and said something else, and then they've had an whole nother set of it. And then we go to, as you're saying, the finals. Well, actually, before that, it was even the last third of the season was again changed. But the problem, the biggest problem I've got then that's on top of that is that we have, even within a period of time, we have pretty much the same thing or the same type of incident adjudicated differently and then punished or consequenced differently. So we've got your Whiten issue to then what happened with the Stephen Crichton issue that got nothing to, and there's extenuating circumstances and all that sort of stuff. And I agree, I actually think there is a duty of care, but I am also of the belief that if you've got this rule, this is what it is. I don't really care what rule it is, but if you're going to call that rule or that's what's written in the book, then that's what you freaking appreciate. And that's the way it's going to be. And if you've got consequences based off that, then that's what it is. And as a fan, we're not going to like it at initially, but if it's consistent for 27 weeks plus we go to finals, then that's what we have. And that's as a fan. What I also really, really hate about the way that we officiate is we officiate games completely different from 1 to 27. We officiate Origin completely different. And then we officiate finals completely different. And I despise that. I just think that's absolutely ridiculous. So to me, the biggest issue in the game is we spoke in the first podcast around, we want to make the game fairer and we want to, increase the load of our competition and make it better. We actually the first step we need to do is go and fix the freaking officiating, because that's the product that's getting put out there that people are pissed off with. And I'm really passionate about this because I hate that we go game on game, week on week, and after every single game, there are things that gets put out there that are howlers. So you're talking around we need to stop the howlers? Absolutely. And I actually like what you're saying. I think, yes, we need to go back and go, these howlers need to be stopped, because that's what fans are saying. We understand refs are going to make mistakes. We're humans. Like freaking the players make mistakes. We make mistakes on a daily basis in just our everyday life. That's just what it is. And when you put into this pressure platform of professional sports and there's one ref, he's definitely going to make mistakes. That's just the way it's going to be. But we are now 2025, about to go 2026 with a new TV deal. We know that there is technology out there to fix this. What I really, really hate is this constant conversation around, IE scored a try off that forward pass. That was such a forward pass. Well, that's ingrained in to me, that's ingrained in our rules. That's our game. Throw the ball backwards to run forwards. That's the game, right? And the only time the ball can go forwards is when we kick it. Yet every single game, they allow these massive forward passes, unless you're Reece Walsh. They allow these massive forward passes and we score goals. They score tries. And we get on social media and we all talk about all these things and fans say it. That's one thing. It's the amount of penalties they miss. It's the amount of contact they miss. It's just... that to me, this is a big topic that needs to get fixed. And I'm so sick of the NRL coming out and saying, turning a blind eye to it. removing Graham and Annesley. I actually like that. I don't mind that. And I get it. I get what you're saying, but it holds accountability. It puts people, and it says this is the accountability. And it pisses teams off, right? We lost because of this call. You didn't necessarily lose because of that call. You lost because of a series of things. But yeah, sorry to take a big winded thing, but this is a really passionate thing of mine that I'm really pissed off about, and I think this really needs to change.
I think you're right on some things in that, like
I'm right on everything, mate.
the way.
At that storm pipe. It's ludicrous. I'm just going to annoy him really quickly. I'm going to annoy him really quickly. Reece Walsh should have been sent off for that shoulder in the grand final.
At least be it.
Agreed.
Oh, now I've lost my train of thought. But like, it's where do you solve the problem? So there is a difference between how refs act, like, and you're going to get that, right? Like, so the way that Annesley will, Klein will referee something as opposed to Grant Atkins or whatever, you will get a difference there because there's multiple things to pay attention to. And there's the style thing. I mean, Bill Harrigan was the one who really kicked off what modern officiating is because it went from how do I police the rules to how do I manage the game. And that's what refereeing is today. It's not actually about just rule management, but it's game management.
Explain to me, because I don't think a lot of listeners would know this. I didn't learn it until you told me about the referees actually have like
They have a coach.
Yeah, explain that process. Because that blew my mind. I think a lot of people would know that.
So we talk about accountability, and it may seem like that referees just do whatever they like and they get away with it. That's not the case. So throughout the game, they actually have a person in their ear who's not the bunker. It's the referee's coach, and who keeps a tackle count for them or helps them tackle count some other bits and pieces. And at halftime, they come in and they get coached on how their performance is and areas to monitor and stuff like that. And whether you think that's good or bad, that's just how things happen. So they're actually quite heavily policed, and then they do full reviews like clubs do on their games, on referees, on their performances and stuff like that as well.
And yet it's still so poor.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So if you're just focusing on the people, I think you're missing the point.
So do you think then, Trav, you're very passionate about this, have we regressed? Would you say?
Yeah, that was going to be my question too. Is refereeing worse now than it was 20 years
ago?
ago?
Was it? It's never been perfect. It never will be perfect. But in your eyes, when do you look back and go, this was the best? Back when we had two referees, or was prior to the bunker, or whatever it might be, was there a time where you went, ever since that moment, we've gone backward?
No, there hasn't been. I think
you think as a standard, it's always been pretty poor?
No, I wouldn't say. I actually think the standard in terms of officiating was probably better in the past than what it is now.
So you would,
because I hold bigger expectations around the fact that it is now they're professional referees. Most of them are full time. They're paid pretty well. I think they should get paid more, to be honest, because we need to increase that pool of people doing it. Yes, I do. I think there should be two referees as well. That's my opinion in terms of ways to fix this. That's one of the series of things I've got. But yeah, I think we should have two referees.
One of the biggest ones for me, I think they get overlooked, is some of this. What if the touchies do a lot of time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just sit there going, mate, are you a bloody spectator with a flag? What's going on here?
Yeah. And then the touchies are the ones sitting on the line for offsides and stuff like that they never call, or leaving early inside the 10 that they never call. Well, it just makes no sense.
Here's a prime example of individual fault versus systemic fault. So, first round of the finals, Broncos versus Canberra, Hudson Young is sent off.
Yeah, I'm glad you
thought so. To Reece Walsh. The next game, or a couple of games on, I think it was Penrith Bulldogs, Paul Alamotti tackles someone, I can't recall who, and puts his fist on their face as he stands up right in front of the touchy.
Yep.
Nothing. Now, that's not an individual thing. That's not the touchy saying, I don't think that's a penalty. It's officiating from behind the background saying, this is how this will be managed. Tony Delahaye, or Delaceres, have you say his name? Voss used to say Delahaye. He did a podcast where he said that they were told as referees, this is how you referee Origin. So it's a top-down issue. The other thing you have to take into consideration is the fact that coaches deliberately manipulate and contort the rules. And if you make them black and white, referees are powerless to stop it. So that's why discretion is brought in, so that when someone takes a dive, the referee has the ability to say, that was way over the top, we're not ruling on that.
That's my big part where I'm massive on this as well. I've been very critical of referees. They get things wrong. There's some stupid decisions we've seen throughout the year. Hudson Young one is just an absolute joke of what happened there. But we've also got to remember, like, people get really pissed off with crackdowns and things like that and how they just sort of fade away. We've also got to realise that these coaches and players are so smart. They manipulate the system so much. It's a joke. And it often does feel like at times the referees are put out into a corner and they can't go anywhere because they'll either cop it from the game, they'll cop it from the clubs, or they'll cop it from the general media.
It's a deliberate siege mentality that clubs will use. They know if we do the wrong thing 10 times, the pressure will be on the ref because he's blown too many penalties, even though we're offside 10 times. That will flip in our favour. Luke Lewis said in the preseason, if the rules were changed, they would deliberately ignore them and train to be offside until the referees broke, and then they'd go back at it.
100%. And then it's like, for instance, going off the Penrith Broncos game and people talk about that McLean, how he was just offside, and we've seen it all the time. Okay, but the rule is to have...
get 2 feet behind the line.
Like, it is the rule.
You're
Everyone
offside.
knows it.
Correct.
From under sixes all the way up to first grade.
But here's the thing. But
But
everyone goes off about that because it's not called there, or it is called there, but it's not called 99 times out of 100 every other time. That's the problem. This is the issue that fans and us have, is that it's called where they feel like calling it.
Well,
in moments.
that's a good segue.
You want to go. Sorry, keep your train of thought, but you want to go into that. Go back even further into the Storm, and Grant Anderson taps the guy in the head, and the penalty gets turned, and then they kick and win the game. Like, it's that you want to use these moments of that you're creating times where and then the NRL are doing it really good, do it really poorly in terms of we are making which we're making moments, we're creating moments to make a point, and I don't like that. I don't like how they create the point, and then 2 weeks later the point's removed. Like we're gonna crack down on Whiten with the suspension. 2 weeks later, it's gone. We're going to crack down on the talk, but 2 weeks later, or even 2 weeks before, you didn't do it. But you caught a penalty on Grant Anderson for touching a dude on the head. Like it's Halamotti punches the guy or rubs him in there. Crichton, Luai, bloody
Just overreaction.
Mulatali, they all do it, but we don't call it. Yet you do in other moments. It's like, why? Like, this is the thing that pisses us off. Sorry.
I was just going to say, as you talked about the Jesse McLean or Casey McLean, whichever one it was, who was offside, and why that one was called, not other. Of course, that was called because it was a scoring situation, which the bunker looks at. And this is what you've got down as another point, is about, does the bunker get involved too much?
That one, that was actually called by the touchy. That wasn't the bunker.
There you go. But when you say other ones that are let go, like there's something we see occasions where players know they've done the wrong thing, so they deliberately don't score a try because they know it will get pulled up. Yeah. And so the question is does the bunker get too involved? Now, just before...
Or they pretend that they're hurt, or they pretend that they've got the head knock so the penalty gets called, or that gives them time at the bunker to have a review.
Yeah. So just as a bit of a gauge of the room, one, just give me a yes or no. Do you think the bunker gets too involved?
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay. When do you think the bunker gets involved? Like currently, how
play by play is basically what they're doing at the moment. It feels like
incorrect. So that's what I was hoping for. So that's the sentiment at the moment, is that the bunker is constantly in the ear of the referee, coaching them what to do. That is not the case. So I went and looked this, got information on this. Won't say how. But basically, like the only times the bunker gets involved is on try scoring situations. If there's a goal line dropout, and so the bunker can get involved in, was it touched or whatever. Foul play. So if there's foul play that either the ref does look at, say penalty, high contact, the bunker will get involved to grade, is it send off, is it whatever. The other one is if foul play happens that the ref misses, then they'll get involved in that. That's really it. That's all the bunker does, apart from try scoring.
So surely if there's something blatantly obvious that the referee has missed, like every punter at home's seen it, surely the bunker can intervene and go, mate, fucking whatever the call might be, you've missed this. He's knocked it on. He's butchered the play the ball. And it's a play on. We're all sitting here going, fuck, he just dropped the ball. And it's surely they can interject there.
Someone might be in the ref's ear, but it's not the bunker.
See, to me, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy that every punter at home can be screaming. Like, but for instance, I use like the commentators as a bit of a gauge. Generally, they call it as they see, and you would think most times they generally get the call right. They don't sort of miss too much. You know, that sort of should be, to me, where it's at. Like,
If you've got multiple eyes there, though, at least you've got a special someone going, I've seen this if you're watching play-by-play. My biggest concern about all of this, and even though I've made this argument for it, what you don't want to see, and I know we say bunker doesn't get involved enough, We don't want this turning into rugby union where
Yes.
it has
Yes.
way too much involvement. Where we're going, yes, just go back seven.
Oh, yeah,
spaces
yeah.
there. Number 7 may have had his foot slightly offside. Let's go all the way back to this and go over it. So there has to be a happy middle ground we find. Yes, we need more things looked at. There needs to be a better. Now, thank you for doing the research because we need to know this, and the general public needs to know what's being seen and what isn't. So we're not sitting there just getting so damn frustrated every single game. But we can't blow it out too far either.
See, I really like the idea where they brought in where the bunker review every try. Just if the
Yes, that happens.
refs
Yeah.
call it, great. The whole video that drove me nuts all the time. And if
Video
they
of it.
find something, catch it, great, bring it back. But that way in the background, it's awarded. Things go forward. Most times, it's confirmed. Move on. Who cares? To me, that was I like that.
But even
Right.
then, they still can't go back and review everything. So what they should do is, if we're going to review the trial, we review everything according to the rules. So we go back, and if there's a forward pass, the bunker should be able to call the forward.
I want
pass.
to ask on that. Why can we not rule on a forward pass? I've never been told why.
Because
Like when you throw the ball, right? If you throw the ball and it hits the deck forward, they can blow it.
Yeah.
There's a knock on. But if a guy manages to get his spins on just before it hits it, we don't know.
Because the argument is that physics, like the way that when people are moving in that direction, then you're passing backwards the ball. will
But
still
sometimes it's
come
so
forward.
blatantly obvious. Like you go physics. I don't need to be a physics. I could be a bloody monkey and go that went forward. I don't need to be a NASA scientist to tell you
can-
that ball went
You
forward.
can
Well,
actually
they've got
pass a ball
interpretation.
backwards and use reverse spin to make a ball go forward out the other side too.
Well,
I've done this before because I'm a wizard. If you put reverse spin on the ball like a bowler, you can pass the ball backwards with reverse spin and it will float in a banana style. So it is possible. The other thing, like,
But there's definitely scenarios where unequivocally
Yes.
the ball has gone.
yeah,
it's
out
not
your
even.
hands forward. It's just like this.
It's just like that. You go, what are you doing? Like, what's the touch you doing?
I just have to say, the fabric of the game is the ball has to go backwards to be able to go forwards. The ball has to go backwards. That's what we do.
Yep.
We pass the ball backwards, we run forward. It's as simple as that. So let's get rid of this bullshit about inertia and physics and all sorts of stuff. NRL is not an overly incredibly smart sport. We don't want to get into that way. Otherwise, we'd have more astrophysicists and all
Also,
sorts of
you're saying that the catch of the ball has to be behind the bloke who passed it.
pass the ball backwards to run forwards. That's the rules. That's the game.
So
Pass the ball backwards to run.
So that would be your ultimate rule. Your rule would be like, if I pass the ball to retro, cut
Has
out
to go
all the
backwards.
physics, he has to be
Has
behind
to
me.
go backwards.
He
I
can't
don't
be.
like that part of it.
Has to go backwards. That's
What
the
if
game.
there's a 60k wind in it? It drags the board naturally forward. Like, I mean, that so black and white can't happen. But I agree with majority of what you're saying in terms of we shouldn't be overcomplicating this. If Joe Blow's sitting at home after 10 cans of the Caxton Brewery's finest beer and can just see that ball's forward,
Absolutely.
the bunker should be able to go. That is a
Absolutely.
forward pass. Like,
Absolutely.
I don't know why we just always.
I know there's always that grey. I hate the term grey area. I know there's always going to be that the physics stuff, but geez, there's some stuff where
Yeah.
So-
the blokes pass the ball out the back, and it's just
If we can rule on offsides when it's like an inch in it, we can rule on an obvious forward pass.
Correct.
So what if
Agreed.
I've
It's ridiculous.
What if instead of trying to solve the problem with computers, and because like that, one of the things they're proposing was having like this kind of railway system along the side,
faster touch judges.
or get two.
Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
So just have two touches per sideline. They meet in the middle and they control 50 each. And so one's on the one's on the offensive, one's on the defensive all the time, and they're just doing this. And when the play goes over, they can either split or whatever. Because I think like technology is really tricky. Like we've even seen Hawkeye be wrong. So I don't know if you can just math your way out.
But
of
we
it.
can. But technology is not near as wrong as what humans are, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So therefore, I would much rather more technology and getting things right, but add the extra human element. So like all of these sports are doing. Like the AFL with the boundary umpires, there's now instead of having one boundary umpire having to run up and down 150 meters, now there's two, and they on each side.
Yeah.
I love that. I think the 50 meters, two on each side, should be able to manage that easily. And then I also think
I
we
want
should chuck the referees one in front, one behind.
I want the in-goal touchy back. That was a good.
So
Do you remember the in-goal touchies?
Oh, I don't know if I do.
What
that.
do you need that for?
We'd
That's-
have one.
Yeah.
Because the bunker does that for
We'd
you,
have
I suppose.
4, 6, 7 referees.
We're doing
No. Like you could still have the
overcomplicating.
two, but I know. We're
We-
indulging with that.
we need
Pub
to-
talk. We're here to talk shit.
I just.
I've always liked the idea of that in-goal. Do you remember the in-goal ref?
Yes,
I think
yeah.
acid
Yeah.
Hey?
I think you're an ANZAC trip. I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
Don't you remember him?
I
swear, he was there. Yeah. I think I remember Michael Hancock wide point of a man. All they did was just run along the back. So wherever they followed, they just tracked the ball from the dead ball line.
Yeah.
That's all they did.
All right.
To do what? To call what?
Not much.
Oh, I guess.
Tries,
Yeah, I
basically.
guess. Yeah, well, I guess nowadays more so though. Like you'd have all the, all this shit with bloody. What do they call it? That's the big blot in the game. My mind's gone blank. Yeah, the obstruction calls, and that's another bloody.
But again, that's been interpreted and changed over and over and over again according to different bits and pieces. And you want to touch on the coaches and the teams manipulating the rules. Well, what we need to have is that, and well done to the teams to do that. That's what they do. They can manipulate the rules and do that. So we need the officiating. We need the NRL. We need the people to come back and say, well, here's what we're going to rule. Stop that. I know what the Storm do, and we do it well, and that's fine. And I'm okay for that. But I'm also okay for us to have to adapt because the refereeing's going to change and the officiator's going to call the rules. I just want the rules to be what the rules are and officiated to that. And I want the consequences to be called and consistent. I don't want Harry Grant copping 2 weeks for what he did, but every other incident doesn't get 2 weeks. I don't want Jacob Preston copping 6 weeks. I get that there was loading in that, but I don't want. There's so many
Queensland getting 12 penalties and a half. Try and square up a series.
Yeah.
And we challenged two of them and one of them, so it would have been 14.
And so be it. But call the officiating and be consistent and have that there. And we need to find ways to make that.
Consistency is the key word, which we will hopefully at some point get better at.
And the judiciary needs to be more consistent.
Talking about rules, let's talk about some rule changes that we would like to see being brought in, whether it's changed or completely new ones. So I'll start off with one that I've thought about. I don't like this whole, if you go for a short dropout, which is great, I reckon that should be a penalty still. That's a big risk to do.
Yep. So
that should be penalised.
Short dropout that goes straight out.
If it goes out, it doesn't make the 10. It's not to play the ball. I reckon you should be punished because what we're seeing at the moment is the Clearys, the Reynolds, the Moses, who are so good at building pressure and applying pressure to teams, going set for set, putting him in the in goal, starting again and building that genuine pressure. So much of that's gone out of the game now because you see teams who will have a two-ball or something on the wing, will just go, yep, sweet, we'll take the drop out, we'll kick over to him.
Best example
and
of
take
that.
it. So
I'd like to see a stat though. How successful do you think they are?
At the moment, it doesn't matter though because they don't get punished for not being successful.
It's not a stat.
What I'm saying though is how many times
there's
is
no
a
stat
team
for it because it's not managed.
That's what I'm saying. For every time a team gets the short dropout, how many actually walk away with the ball?
Back in 2010, when Des was the mad scientist, was to control the Dogs, they would always go short, and he worked out the probabilities of like defending your own line, and he found out that they were, this was in 2010, higher to defend your own goal line kicking short than long.
Yeah.
They would always go short.
As a Storm fan, I watch Pappenhausen, and I freaking hate when we have to do a dropout because I feel like Pappenhausen misses it more times than he makes it. But the punishment for the Storm is that we know that we're so good defensively so that if it doesn't matter, we end up with it's not a risk for us. So it's a positive for us in every way. If we get it, I've got Coates and Warbrick taking it. We get the ball back. If we don't, we can defend well enough. I absolutely love that rule.
Yeah, risk to reward is just not there anymore. I'm on your team.
I think we really need to start rewarding that short game. The second one I've got, and then open the floor, scrums. I want to see scrums go back to the traditional way where the forwards go in and we let the backs do their thing. They need to. I'm not talking about contest. I'm talking about actual genuine backline moves and things like that. Because second part to that, I would have scrum tries if they score off that play worth 6 points.
I'll say this as someone who's again come into the game and it just borderline looks ceremonial. Yeah. I want it to have some kind of purpose. I love that it's part of the fabric of the game. I still like something that's remained from back in the day, but do something with it.
Yes.
Like it still offers something. There's no other time of the game where you got that many people. Yeah, it still does offer something. You know what I mean? It could offer more.
The only thing
it can offer more.
It offers everything for the attacking team because the defending team cannot move until the ball's picked up. So like the rules are changed. So I love that rule. I've been calling that since the start.
But my argument is at the moment, I don't think many teams benefit off scrums at all because they send their second rower to go take a one-up hitter, which just for many eliminates what the scrum is actually for. The rule for the scrum is to open up the play to allow attacking, entertaining football because we're an entertainment business now. We're not doing that. So for mine, if we can reward and say a 6 point try if you can score for scrum, it will ensure, and we have backlines actually being set up where they should be. I would love to sit there and watch that. Imagine having a scrum getting lined up and you've got the likes of, well, not Pavey anymore, but Farlongo. You've got Coates, Warbrick on both sides each. You can look at the early kick might happen. Someone might have, like, Apparel might do an early kick for Addo Carr because we're behind by 6 or 8 at the time. We're going, we need this scrum try at the moment.
What even is the rules on scrums?
Like,
Are you allowed to push?
No.
Are you not?
You can push, but not many do.
See,
It's hardly ever done.
No, but it gets
The ref-
every time someone does push or someone don't have their 2 feet planted, the ref stops and we say set it up again.
Yeah, so I remember a Canberra play. Remember Josh Carney? Played for the Roosters too. They had an incredible play. They broke the scrum in half, and he ran right through, and they called it back. It was one of the great set plays. They actually pulled the opposition team apart in the scrum.
Yeah, right.
Big through the middle. It was awesome. They called it back.
See,
Do that.
League is very easy to follow, which is great. And if you were trying to sell this game to a much bigger market as an entertainment product, that's probably the glaring area. I'm going, me as coming in going, what's that?
Yeah.
It's just
I know what I think that is, but
It's not.
that's not it.
Yeah.
it's just 6 statues
Yeah.
bumped up
Has
against
there ever
each
been a
other.
reason why we went away from it? Like, has there been a...
Because they just didn't want to be rugby union. Like, there's so much time bogged down in rugby union scrums. It's so...
But like even like scrums back in the 90s, there was a bit of pushing in the 80s.
Yeah,
well,
it's
it
just-
wasn't like union,
Yeah,
right?
but
it was
set up for a fight.
Well, when it-
At least it was
yeah.
just a chance
When
for
it really
the
changed is when they allowed them to feed the scrum into the second row between the second rowers' legs.
yeah. So hookers
That
aren't
took
really
all-
hookers.
No, just took all contest out of it. So
Yeah.
I don't mind it from the point of view of like it is an attacking relic. That's all it does. But I would just like the ability to kind of push because every time they do, it just gets pulled up for any blatant reason you can think of, and then we just DNA. So yeah,
It would be nice. It would be nice to see us scrum go the other way.
yeah.
More often, eh?
Yes.
That's
The last
nice.
time I can think of was that prelim final Roosters Tigers.
Yes.
Back in
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyone else? Any rules?
One thing I would like is it annoys me a bit is when you lose a player to HIA, like some foul play, you lose the bloke for not only the entirety of that game, you're going to miss him next week, and the offending player on the team, they just continue on. And I think for a game that's so fast, man, that's such a kick in the dick for your team.
We've got so much to go into this, but it's our next talking point, so I don't want to skip that. No, that's what I was. Did anyone else have a quick rule they want to talk
And the
about?
other,
I got a small one, but go.
Oh, the other one is double movement. I don't get it. I see a lot of tries scored where I just think I don't understand if the player's that close to scoring and you couldn't stop him. I know the blatant ones if he's hit the ground, he just literally got up. But I see somewhere it's bang bang. I don't have an issue with that.
Neither.
I think if he's close enough to score it, you didn't do enough. There was one Wade Graham scored on us, and it was just sheer individual brilliance. He broke out, broke a couple tackles, elbows hit the deck, but he rolled around and got it. And, well, fair enough to him. He fought to get that try.
Yeah.
We didn't do enough to stop him. I don't understand. I know there's a place for double movement. You can't just get tackled to quickly get up and do it. But I see some tries like, man, I think that's unlucky. I just think that you should be rewarding play like that. I don't know how you would officiate. It's probably very grey, but
the hard thing is it's when you deem a tackle to be complete.
exactly. I know.
Or carrying arm on the ground.
But sometimes
there's
it's so
ring goal
fast.
touch judge. That's it. He's got a purpose again.
There you go.
Yeah.
My one's really simple is that I just think tacklers need to roll out of the ruck. This is like the classic rugby union rule. You cannot stay in the ruck. Just get out of there.
Yeah.
You can't just sit there. This will solve all the problems of, like, remember Anthony's
Slow
work with like just
playable.
passing into someone else.
Yeah.
If you're forced to roll out of the ruck, you will not have that problem. So just get out of there. You just cannot be involved. Roll, remove yourself.
I love that. You should be it's in the rules. You need to make a genuine effort to get out of the play.
Yes, it's
Like,
in rugby union.
just-
You must roll away from the ruck.
Just get out of there.
I got a couple. See, I love all of these, and I'm all for it. I particularly like the HIA one, which you want to talk about later on.
Next.
Kicking. I think we need to overhaul our rules around the kicking.
Like
Protecting the kicker, I just don't like.
Yeah, I agree.
As much as that, we're protecting the kicker because of 2 or 3, horrible accidental injuries. But over the course of the history of the game, how many times has that happened? I just think that's ridiculous. So I think that just needs to be, it is what it is. That rule needs to go. And then my other, again, it's also on the kicking is I don't like how fullbacks become a dummy a crash dummy. So they can kick as high as they can, and the fullback has to go and take it, and he has to stand there and take it, and then he puts his feet on the ground, and then he just gets poleaxed. I just think it's ridiculous. Yet we want to protect the kicker with the slightest little touch. I just think is absolutely contradictory and ridiculous. So I think that needs to
a fair catch, mate.
Yeah.
No, the old.
No, I don't want a fair. No, I don't want the fair catch. But what I don't want players poleaxing guys. But I don't think they should. I think a player should be able to, the fullback or whatever, should be able to take that and then take a few steps, and then they've got to wait. Like, I think something needs to be around that. So a rule change on that. And the other thing that I don't like is the advantage. And look, I love it because it works for my team, but I don't like the advantage the kick catcher has in terms of Xavier Coates and stuff that he's got, that he can't, like the contact in the air and stuff like that. That just does, that really does my head in. So I'm not giving particular definitive black and white rule changes, but I think things need to change around those aspects.
That rule only changed in about 2017 or so. They used to be able to tackle players in the air.
I don't think you should be able to tackle in the air.
Well, that's what you used to be able to, unless. And so when they went down that direction, when that rule came in, I thought, I know exactly what's going to happen here. You're going to see players jumping, and that's why kickers started jumping more, because they wanted to get the penalty in the air.
Yep.
So that's the trope.
Sometimes ridiculous though. Like that Brian Toto one in Origin. Like, what are we doing? There's a difference between literally taking a bloke.
He was trying to help him.
Exactly.
He was trying to stop him.
That was just
himself.
complete and utter bullshit.
But here's the consistency that I was saying, is that was a penalty, yet the amount of times Xavier Coates doesn't get penalties because of what happened, or even Marky Mark, it doesn't get penalties. It dumbfounds me. I just think we need to let the guy go and contest it, get up in the air, and if they bang and crash, they do. But if he tackles them in the air or does all that, then that's a penalty. But like at the moment, players are now just waiting. They're standing here and not letting anything happen, and then they tackle him, and then we've got more issues.
Yeah.
Like I hate that.
Yeah, the AFL background in me just sees it as just cowardly for the person. One person is going to put themselves under that bomb, just eyes on the footy, and someone's going to run through them because they couldn't get there in time. They couldn't contest.
Yep.
Well, like it's one of the parts of the game that I can't look at and go, I don't know why that exists.
Yes.
I absolutely don't know why it exists.
Gladiator sport.
Yeah,
Gladiator
I like
sport. I'll say one more, which then goes into what we were going to continue to talk about, thanks to Ling. The interchanges, I would reduce them to 6. I would reduce the interchange size, because I'm finding at the moment, anyway, I'm not sure what you guys are seeing, due with the HIAs as well, teams are making 12 upwards interchanges a game, which is, for mine, just going past what we're trying to do, which is to bring I think the little guys are in the game more than they ever have been at the moment, but we need to add a bit more fatigue into this game for the big boys and things like that. They're still, like, to be able to chase down like a bomb from 50 metres and do that consistently, like, they should be buggered. And they're not, because they get to interchange so much at the moment, thanks to the HIA. Like, at the moment, it's 8 interchanges the legal amount for a game. I'd love to see the stats of it. I don't have time to check it out, but I reckon we are seeing 12 at a minimum per game at the moment.
I don't mind where it's at, because I just think it's a slippery slope. If you get to the point where one team is just so gassed and they're just
work on your fitness.
So that's what I'm saying. It's 100 metres. Under game circumstances, I don't know. For me, I just think it just get way too ugly too quick. Like, it's just this team is just getting, like, there's no reprieve. They're literally cooked.
Coupled with 6 agains and just momentum swings.
Bro,
it comes a point where fitness just can't keep up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're in a real sweet spot. I don't mind the interchange at all.
Sorry, I'm not looking at the big boys too. I think about the big boys. The big boys. Where's George Rose?
Again, this is me sort of identifying. I think what you're saying is, so would you say teams are maybe exploiting the HIA? Okay, that's good. I'm glad I picked up on that, because.
And that is my issue there. And I'm sorry, I've got to disagree with you two boys, is that if a team is good enough to add fatigue to the other side, they should be benefiting that. I don't care if it's...
The problem is, I think the game will just get...
But they've got to get better. Their defence and that, they have to be better.
I'm saying that in a game situation, though, I think you could just get these games that just blow out. Like it's you know what I mean? You kind of damn
well, that's rewarding a side that's done great.
I don't want to see a game where it's like,
but then you have concession for injury, as opposed to just
so
fatigue.
this is where I was going. So what's the purpose of taking it to the 6? So you want them to be, you want more fatigue because you think players or teams are manipulating HIA and doing stuff.
Why don't they manipulate it more?
Well, I would say that they would then manipulate it more if the game's going to have to be. If you've got less interchange, it'll be manipulated more because they need to get these guys off.
Well, there's another.
So
we go into another
I
pub.
think
we
what
won't.
you need to do is take a step even further on that. If you're going to go with the 6, what are some of the extra sideline rules around HIA and injury? Because at the moment, we are going down the concussion path on HIA, so there's more and more and more of it. So we have to account for that. So if we're taking less interchange, we've got to account for.
Well, let's establish. So when a player has deemed to come off for a head injury assessment, so you got the independent doctor, but is there club doctors are in the mix too? Like if the club doctors. So is it a case of you just have to remove the club doctor and it's completely out of the club's hands?
Well,
I think so.
I disagree. But keep going.
You know what I mean? Like I think that's where you're saying this opens the door for clubs to exploit it both ways. We don't want this guy to come off. He's good. Or we'll get a free interchange. He's a big boy. You'll be fine. It's a free interchange. Yeah. Where you take the club doctors out of it and it's completely, utterly third party. You remove that. That's gone.
It could go even further and say that you just bring someone off the bench and whack somebody for the sake of whacking them to get them off because you know that all you're going to get is at worst maybe 10 minutes in the bin, but consistency.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That leads me back to my point.
And you've only got 6 on the bench, or you've only got 6 interchanges to fix that kind of stuff.
But you don't have to be injured to go off for a head injury assessment. You just have to get touched on the head.
Yes.
That's it. So if the club says,
and then
Jack White can come off because you just got touched on the chin, he'll have to spend 10 minutes on the sideline doing his assessment or whatever 15 minutes is, but they'll get the free interchange. So it doesn't matter how injured he is.
That's what I'm saying though. Like I think maybe what Joel is getting at is by the clubs having the discretion and the power to do that. By eliminating club doctors to have that power and go, it's out of your hands.
You need to.
It's an NRL doctor. And the supporters can't get up and down. It's like, well, it wasn't our call.
Club doctors
protects the club going, well, we can't. We don't have any power. If they tell our player to get off.
But hold on. So what you're going to tell me is, so Jack White, let's say he just pretends, right? Gets clipped on the chin, he just pretends. And the independent doctor says he's not right to come off. And he says, I'm concussed. The independent doctor will say, no, you're not.
Where are you? Yeah. How? What signs have you got?
Will not happen.
Yeah.
So in what world will the doctor say to a patient, like on an eyeball assessment alone, you are not concussed?
But then
there's like lawsuits out the wazoo. Like it will not happen. And the other reason that I think club doctor is actually a good thing is that for positive.
But if he deems that he is. Well, it is what it is.
But
you run the risk.
Yeah, but he would still have to do a test because Jack White must say, I'm concussed. I'm coming on.
And then he's got to show whether he's...
But are you saying that by saying like he's faking it?
Yeah.
Well, then you run that risk.
Yes. But that makes that doesn't change it between an independent doctor or a club doctor. Because if he's faking, he's faking it.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. It removes any... what Joel's saying, the team
have the same outcome.
But we're looking at this at the moment on one side of it. Then the other side of the fence, and we've seen it so many times this year, is where the player was clearly concussed, and the club doctor didn't take him off the field.
No.
Or
at the moment, and they won't like me saying this, but multiple times this year, club doctors have taken the actual piss with this.
Yep.
And the NRL go on about being so serious when it comes to players and protecting players. Well, start doing it. Start fining clubs more and more because there's been that many times this year that it's just been a piss take.
So that's my argument a little bit for club doctors. So Victor Radley, he was interviewed. He had that big head knock this year, and then he came back and he's wearing the headgear after that. And he said that the beauty of having the club doctor was basically like having your GP that you always go to, that the club doctor actually knows you. And so they know when certain things are happening, this might look really bad for X person, but for Victor, it's not that bad. Vice versa, you might have someone who cops a little tap, and the club doctor says, that's Boyd Cordner. You're gone. So having a person, a doctor who actually knows their patient is valuable at times. It will always get corrupted. Like there'll always be an avenue to cheat.
Well, then how do you stop? There's got to be some a punishment.
Because you can't stop people lying. That's it. Like you just have to accept at one point someone will tell a lie about something, and if you try and question.
But how do you know it's a lie?
Well, the only way you could be able to check is you'd have to go through all these processes all the time and go, we'll have to do all these same assessments. You have to do the assessment every time. Even if they lied 10 times, they'd have to do it on the 11th.
I didn't think your HO would go this. We have to move on. We do have. I have one more thing to talk about, and I know Travis asked me to start teeing off on this one a bit earlier, which we'll go back to Link's point quickly. So this whole teams being punished for losing someone early on. So I'll use two recent examples so people know what we're talking about here. On the weekend, Tonga lost Stefano Ukamanu, say it however you want to do it. Australia also lost Yo, which was forgotten about very early on that game, and luckily we pumped England anyway, so it didn't really matter. Both teams were reduced to one player less on the bench, a key middle, which I know Samoa was so good and they would have won the game anyway, you got no doubt. But people need to realise how much of an effect losing one of your key middles would have had, especially against that forward pack. And to have that, and then Samoa didn't even get any sort of punishment whatsoever and just reaped benefits from an illegal play, is absolutely disgusting in my opinion. And I think a 4-man bench is way too small in the modern day. I don't think we should be punishing teams for getting hit illegally. We should be having for mine a 6-man bench. That way, if you lose a Stefano for Tonga on instance, they could have had another pretty good middle sitting there. Bring him on. There's no, they're not playing a man down, so to speak, and they continue on playing the game.
You're not saying 6-man. You're still saying a 4-man bench, but 2 of those guys are like reserves.
18th, 19th man.
Are like reserves?
No, they're able to play, like you can only have a 4-man bench, but you have 6 men on it.
Yeah, so the extra 2 are like reserves.
Yes.
Or if that moment where Molo whacks Stefano fails his HIA, you can't come back. I've got someone to come back in.
Yeah.
I'm not losing an interchange and I'm not losing my bench from 4 to 3.
Another good example is if, let's say, if Moses gets cops one and he goes for the game, he's out. We should be able to then put, let's say Pezzett starts in the New South Wales Cup next year. Pezzett should be able to sit there on the bench and go on to replace. I don't know why the NRL want to continue to diminish their product by having, let's say if Moses goes off, this current day and age, we're seeing probably a middle go on. The lock forward will probably go and play a 6 role. The 6 will then go to halfback. So much shuffling.
The problem is you can't have professional 18th and 19th man.
Why?
Because they'll never play football.
What do you mean?
Well, if Pezzett's forever an 18th man, when's he even going to play?
No, but we've got squads of 30. So you just.
But if he's not going to play first grade rugby league, lace up the boots and go play footy, when does he play? If he's always just in case.
He's on it's a squad. So we've got that at the moment. We've got an 18th man that sits there doing nothing.
That's what I'm saying. If you pick a team every week, if you've got the same 18th man, that bloke.
It might not be though. You might be going up against. I don't know. You might go up against the Storm. You might go, but.
You get what I'm saying?
I do, but
you can't keep picking the same 2 if in case.
Why not though?
Because let's say if I'm a coach,
schedule-wise-
if you're my 18th man every week,
but schedule-wise, you're not going to clash with your resis every weekend. So you can then, if we play a Thursday or Friday night game, and your 18th and 19th man is there, the resis play on the Saturday. You always put them on a flight and send them to the game, and they'll play in that one. Like you put them on the list, like the AFL does that.
Yeah, we do.
Cricket has the 12th man, never plays. Like bloody Andy Bickle, is famous for being the 12th man in cricket for years. Like it's
my best way to make you understand what I'm trying to say here is, let's say in the modern game, we always think whenever a backline player is out quite for a lengthy period of time in the game, that's a huge disadvantage to the modern. And most teams these days don't carry a back on their bench. Allowing it to open up to 2 extra players will allow players to name that extra backline player on the bench. And if it's needed, or even if it's just in terms of the play, if they're down by, say, 20 points with 40 to go, they can bring on another X factor. It's up to them. That obviously means they'll probably lose with forwards or something. But if they want to chase some points, go all for it.
So I like the idea of your 6-man bench. I just don't like that that 18th and 19th can just come on in that situation for if we're 20 minutes down, we want to make a major
have to be activated.
I think it has to be activated.
The sub in AFL hasn't worked that well. Like the tactical sub per se, that hasn't worked really well. It does need to be injury related.
Yeah, only
like
Paul.
but in that case, what he's saying, he can only be in case of injury or HIA. So you're not losing that, but you are picking, and maybe it is an older player. Maybe it is someone who you know isn't going to play out a full season. We go, you know what? In this game, we know exactly right. You're very clever about how you pick it. We know the opposition's got a massive forward pack. We're probably going to lose. Someone's going to get hurt in this game. We need a backup forward in this case, or we need a backup back in this case. You just have to be tactical. You can still fly them around. There's a way you can make it work as long as it doesn't affect your rotations.
And this is purely just off foul play, right? You're talking...
No.
Yeah, see, so you're saying any HIA?
It can be both.
Yeah, see,
And
I just think it's
credit
got to
to
be.
Joel Kane. He's said this a few times on SCN over the last year or two. He's very big on this idea, and I absolutely love it because tactically it can bring a new element to the game as well. If, like I just said, if teams are behind or something, or they feel like they need a bit more oomph in the forwards, they have 6 people on the bench, but you can only use 4.
Yeah, see, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I think just purely foul play. Otherwise, it's just an injury.
Okay, now I understand. Because I was just about to
I
ask what's the
understand.
difference between now and then. Now I understand what you're saying. I actually like the roll of the dice about who you pick on the bench and
Yep.
who you might miss out on.
Yeah.
As always comes up at Origin. Oh, he picked 4 forwards. Who's going to cover
Yep,
hooker?
same.
I kind of like the chess game
Yeah.
around that. You either get found out or you don't. And I also like, don't forget, we've seen some masterful performances where players play out of position. It's a real hero effort. I actually like some of the adversity that comes with Origin scheduling or whatever that creates mismatch and disharmony because it gives you chances for like fairy tales to happen and stuff like that. So I don't mind it. Are we going on?
I like
notion
your,
of
I like
HIA?
your idea with it, and I like the notion of the bench because I like how some teams like the Sharks will often pick 3 big boppers on the bench, and then
it pays off, doesn't
and you're right, and that's exactly right. I like how some teams have that identity around what that 4 is going to be like and what you're going to get that oomph off the bench. I do. I really like the idea of that extra 2 men as a free sub for injuries and HIAs, and I agree with you, particularly it's the bane of one of my big issues is that exact moment of Stefano coming off in 3 minutes. With that, like go back even as a Roosters fan, go back 2024, Nas hits Collins first play, and for the entire 80 minutes, they're down 1 bench player. Like there's another example of that there where there was no replacement 3 benches and Storm ends up running you over. There's another example of it. I really like that. I think that needs to change. And the thing is, we're going down this path because we've got so much more research and movies and all sorts of information around HIAs. The rules the interchange and things need to adapt with it too.
You said injury before. Does that count for like ACLs?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, definitely.
I think just sometimes bad things happen.
Yeah, they do, but we should have something to be able to replace that, especially if we've only got 8. If we're limiting the interchange, we should be able to replace that.
Yeah, I think adversity is part of the game. I think sometimes things go your way, some things they don't. I actually like that. I don't think that the injury to the player should matter to the crime. So, like you said, someone got hit in the head and they're off because they failed their HIA. Because you could have an instance where a Boyd Corner is falling at your feet, you clip him on the chin with the tip of your finger, but it's enough to concuss him. I shouldn't have to sit off or get sent because if his head is not.
That's what I'm saying. It's got to be foul. Like
That's purely incidental.
Yeah, if I, it's just a cheap shot or something.
But if it's
that's
if
what I'm
it's just
talking about.
how sick you are determines how bad the punishment will be. You watch the rates of those injuries, the fake injuries skyrocket through the roof.
Yeah,
but then that also goes back to we've got to get to the point where, I'm sorry to say, coaches need to grow up a bit. Don't exploit all that sort of crap. Like that's genuine player safety we're talking about, which is the betterment of players. Go and talk to all the players out there, and this is something I'm really passionate about, having families play the game and that. And you see how quickly they deteriorate. If coaches and clubs want to do that, that's on them and shame on them. That's a joke. You do not play around with that shit. I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about that. You just don't do it. And clubs and the NRL need to get together on that and stop it. It should be stopping.
But it does go both ways. I mean, don't forget there are times where players will pretend to not be injured or lie about their injuries so that they can play on.
But that also gets caught out, and that's also then you're now letting your team down because you're playing injured in some way. Like
it all comes down to these ones. At the end of the day, it's all this.
Let's move on. We do need to get to now rep football, but quickly, a yes or no answer from everyone. Should we change the Dally M system, Trav?
Yes.
Link?
I don't feel that. I don't know. I genuinely feel like the best players generally win it.
Yeah,
I don't.
Take care of
I don't look at it going, oh my god, what? Blow it up. No, it doesn't really worry me.
Yeah.
Nick?
Yeah, it just doesn't interest me enough.
Yeah, I don't really care either way.
Let's go rep football. So let's start with Origin. Are we happy with games being taken away from New South Wales and Queensland every series?
We talked about fairness. How much more fair are you going to get? One in Queensland, one in New South Wales. And we're all about expansion. We're talking global, Vegas, global round, PNG.
NZ this year?
Take it where they love it. It's the jewel in the crown at the moment. International football should be, but at the moment, let's be real, it's state of origin football. Yep. and it's neutral. Like, that's what we want, right? Like, it almost doesn't make sense to have two in one state, one in the other. Like, to me,
Rolling.
when you look at it that way, you go, well, that doesn't.
There
It
was
makes,
a while where New South Wales were the ones getting gypped out of their
Yes.
home game for a while, but now ever since then it's pretty well been.
but that's what I'm saying, though. If when you looked at it historically, well, that's unfair. Why should Queensland have 2 games 1 year? Like, it should always be, no, you guys get 1 each, and we're going to go somewhere neutral. That makes, in a 3-game series, I think it's a no-brainer.
I'm 100% with you then, because then it brings in the fan element. Your fans travel. Like, can you win at home? Can you win away? Can you win neutral? It's a series.
What's your optimal time for that neutral game? Which game?
Do you reckon all what you reckon?
Game 1, 2, or 3?
Well, it depends. Every series is going to be different like that. I like the
not 3.
You can't have it 3, but I reckon it has maybe rotated every time because.
I would kick it off. I would honestly kick it off.
It's a very good question. It's a
have
very
to
good
game
question
1.
you raised.
I reckon game 1, if you're going to kick off Origin,
It's the biggest
neutral
hype.
venue, I reckon that.
Actually, yeah,
And then that way, game 2 will decide is going to be big regardless. I would probably open Origin somewhere.
I agree because I think sometimes when game 2 is the neutral venue, it can feel a little bit flat. You've you've got all the build up, and then I'm a bit detached from this. Maybe this is Perth, maybe because I can't, unless you're really in and around it, you do feel a little bit on the outside, and you're maybe not as passionate. But if you're building up to that game 1, yes, Origin is back. I can't wait.
Like Vegas.
I'm so invested in this straight away. I'm going to give all my energy, and now either I'm the home or the away.
Yeah.
I think actually game 2 is the better one because you have a bigger time lead in marketing wise. So you get game 1 is your advertiser, and then game 2 is the one that really sells the tickets.
Gosh, how many weeks do they need? Like, we know that Origin's up as soon as the draw comes out. Like, they're advertising that.
I think, though, if a series should be wrapped up in Australia, you know, if you take game, let's say New South Wales win game 1, and then they go to New Zealand, they win game 2. It's like, yeah, it's great. But I'd rather there was a chance that they could win it in Sydney or at least Queensland.
Yeah, I just think I'd rather try. I reckon I have better time selling tickets game 2.
But they're still going to sell tickets. It doesn't matter. I actually agree. I think it should. Australia should have the wrapping up, irrelevant of which state. But I think that the neutral venue should be game 1, and then game 2 and 3 just interchange.
Yeah.
So every year, when New South Wales got game 2, next year they get game 3. And vice versa. That's how I think. And I loved taking it away. I'm a bit iffy on the New Zealand game. I'm not sure yet how. I'll see how that goes. But I like the games at Melbourne. I liked this year where they played it in Perth. I kind of like that.
It's going to be a
I'm a
slam
bit
dunk,
like.
mate.
I mean, New Zealand will turn up. That's not my point. Like, that's not where I'm going. I get that as an international game, but this is not like Origin to me. Isn't like international kind of thing. It's New Zealand, New South Wales versus Queensland. I think it should still be in
I
Australia.
have taken it to America before.
84.
Yep, Sterling.
I'll go a little bit different. I'll just say, as a traditionalist for Origin, I'd love it to remain New South Wales, Queensland. I'd love to see them like New South Wales win.
boomer.
I just think it's special. Whenever you see a series, when New South Wales win the series when 2 are played at Suncorp, I just love that feeling of just going.
The best one.
To Queensland, where it
what was
just
the
don't
one?
happen much, but I just like that.
What was a great series when Queensland had all 3 of them?
So then,
And we
Yeah, that was COVID, and that was their worst ever Queensland team.
so then, do you think Luai should be playing? Like, these international players not playing for Australia then?
We're getting to that. mate.
No. But should they be allowed to play for Origin then? Like,
but that's
What
another
are you
talk.
talking about?
No. But if you're going to say that Queensland and New South Wales should be the only ones that are holding the games, then are you going to say the players have to be full-blown Australian, Queensland, and New South Wales?
Do with it.
It does.
No, that's a separate argument.
Yeah, that's no. Why you're trying to say that somewhere it doesn't need to go.
Is that glint in the eye that I was talking about?
We're getting it.
Smell blood.
We're getting the Storm being the most friendliest bunch sort of territories here.
Friendly. Should Origin be a standalone 3-week or whatever campaign through the middle of the season?
No.
Yes.
If you were to condense it into 1, 2, 3 weeks, but no, because even in the Origin period, in that middle period between games, just the second week, it just falls flat. Like there's no news. So unless you condense it to 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row and kept it standalone
That's
like
what I'd do.
that, I could make an argument for that. Yeah. But as it currently stands, you can't call it off. Yes, the NRL does suffer during that period of time, but there's not enough content. There's not enough storylines. Like what are you doing with the other players? If you call the rest of comp off.
International footy.
Internet.
Nah, I think
Bingo.
I'm with retro. What's wrong with it? What is wrong with how it is?
Well, you talk about making the competition fair. What about taking the best players from the best teams, and so the lower teams get a chance? That's fairer. It's a handicap.
I've always had this argument. I would not.
That's not fair.
No.
Well, let's even up the competition in the middle of the season.
I don't
because
buy
the
that.
teams suck.
I don't buy that.
All your other arguments is how do we strip things down? Well, that's how you do it. You just manipulate. Plus, it's the time of year where you get to
That's
see.
manipulation.
Well, that's everything you're out here for is manipulation. If you want to put restriction on anything, you'll restrict it either financially, you'll manipulate with players. The good thing with this period is that you get to see a birth of, these new guys come through that get their chance and they get to shine in that period. Yes, the games will decrease in quality a little bit. It was that 1 year that we did have, like Samoa and I think, Tonga and New Zealand played each other.
Yeah.
Whatever. But once again, that's not quite filling the quotas. There is a reason that it hasn't changed over all these years. I think we've tried Origin on every night of the week, I think. And we did at the end of the year that 1 year in COVID, and it just felt really numb.
I don't buy the whole
stage.
thing. I got a depleted team. I will take if the Newcastle Knights had 5 or 6 Origin players, I'd be happy for it.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen. It hasn't happened for a long time.
Well, what I'm trying these
why you have that.
these
We're gonna
teams,
come back to reality.
I would rather lose those 3 games through Origin than knowing I've got 6 Origin players that are going to win me far more games than going to lose me.
Lynx team's had his best chance to win during Origin.
Yeah, I don't buy that at all. I think
What happens if more players are now backing up, and I get it. Let's get clearer this year. That more players are starting to back up. But if you go through the Origin period, you've had your 6 players, you've lost those 3 games, you've blooded a few people, but you didn't make finals. But you can go back to we didn't make finals because we lost 1 game in here.
I don't know one team
don't
that's
like
had
that.
6 Origin players and hasn't made finals.
Yeah, and it's not a surprise. Everyone knows it's happening.
No, it doesn't. But
You need Origin players to win finals. That's it.
we're trying to avoid those moments, right? Be proactive instead of reactive.
Nah, if your team is good enough to have a lot of Origin players, they're going to do just fine through that period.
I
don't think it's going to be any issue at all.
I like 1, 2, 3, get it over and done with.
Yep.
That's what I like.
Yep. I
And
agree.
if you go from if it's round 11, then you go straight into Origin 1, 2, 3.
It's out of too much revenue.
Go for there. But you wouldn't if you then look at how much the international game is, what they're doing at the moment.
It's not the same as Origin.
But you still got
No, but
Origin on.
for mine, it's better than a lot of these club games that happen during the Origin period, which is what you're trying to compare
Yeah,
it
but
to.
you can only sell 3 games. Origin, Samoa, Tonga, say, and then New Zealand, Cook Islands. So you only sell 3 games instead of
5.
plus Origin 6. Isn't it? Well, they have white
still-
stuff.
So is your big thing is just the deterioration of the competition is what you're trying to say?
I think from a business point of view,
Rest
so many
period
people
time.
will just shut off from it at that time. They go, Origin's my focus. My team's just been, it's just whatever at the moment, and just go. I just think, and my other side to this is I think we need to be, and it's the next sort of talking point, we need to be doing a lot more for the international game. It is just screaming to be just let out of the cage, basically, and this is a period that allows us to do that.
I think where we're doing it now is perfect. I love where the international calendar sits now.
There's not enough games. If we want to be,
There's not enough, but I think
that's
where
what
it
I
is.
mean. So how do we get more games? Is doing this way.
We'll see what
And the other thing we've got to remember is we're going to be going to basically a 20-week competition once the new TV rights deal and the expansion that happens. So we need to spread that out a little bit. This allows us to.
Yeah. And it removes the bye. I hate the
No, yeah,
teams on
yeah.
a bye. I think and then you just have that rest period. Okay, so players are playing Origin. Okay, so they don't get a bye. They're going to do it. So you rest those guys at different points in the time, and that has to come down to strategy and strategicness with what the clubs do. I love it. And I love the removal, but you've got to wait till we have an even amount of teams.
Now, Trav's earlier point. Let's tackle it. Should we be making players pick or choose between Origin and international footy? So the Luais.
Well, but if you're international window that we're talking about here, you would have to choose. That would put him in that situation. Are you going to play, if you're Luai, you're going to play for New South Wales, or you're going to play for Samoa in this window?
Yes and no, in my opinion.
Not backing up
Not
the vote.
necessarily pick. You can play both. It's just you
You
choose
can't
at that
play both.
time. No, at that time frame, you have to go one or the other. But then,
What's your first pick coming?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I don't think they need like players in the modern day NRL player. They've got close family ties to both. So if it's New South Wales for Luai, and he's got a very close family tie with Samoa, well, you can't be making these players choose. I just think it's completely unfair.
Oh, it's all it's going to do is just going to prop Australia up even more so, and these other great nations that are playing some good football, it's just going to handicap them.
I'm actually the opposite, though. I actually feel like the biggest reason why I don't think they will force, I actually think it will take away from Australia even more. I think more and more as this international game continues to go and we see the amazing scenes on Sunday, more and more players will start choosing Samoa.
Oh no, what I'm saying is, if you're going to tell people you can't, the only way you can play Origin is either you can't play for Tonga. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think. Yeah, I think you should absolutely have the right to play for New South Wales, and if you've got Tongan and Samoan heritage, go for it.
100% agree.
You know, it's not. Maybe Origin shouldn't be so much like where you're born, but like where you reside and raised. So to speak, you know what I mean? It's not. It's not a birth thing. I think maybe we need to strip that back.
The conversation's being asked around that it should be. This is if you were born here. This is that, and then you get the right to play for New South Wales. But at the moment, I think, isn't it? You've got to be here before you're 12 or something, and stuff like that. So you don't have to be born here. I like that rule. I don't mind it. I actually think. I don't care whether your heritage is over there. I don't even care if that's where you were born. If you came here before 12, I don't mind that rule. I think people should be allowed to play. I don't like the tier rule. So I don't like that Radley, I don't like that we have these tier nations. I think everyone should just have free for all. I think if you are born there, but you've come here or you grew up here, you've got the heritage, you should be able to represent. You're just as much a New South Welshman as they are. They've just started growing here.
So with that being said, because isn't the rule obviously now, so if you have played for Australia, you can defect obviously later. So with that rule, would you say once you're a kangaroo, that's it?
Correct.
You can't go later in your career?
I'm very much on the international period now of where the game is, that if this is kind of digressing.
Once you've locked in your allegiance, that's it.
Yeah, if you say you're Samoan, you're Samoan. If you say you're Tongan, cool. And we should go and ask all the NRL players now to assign your allegiance now and nominate, and that's where it is. I don't care. And if they all start nominating to say they go international as an Australian, that's okay. That's fine. I'm not going to begrudge you at all.
I'm saying that.
But if you were born in New South Wales or you grew up in New South Wales under those rules, then you should still be allowed to play Origin.
I think when a player signs their first NRL contract, they put down their international eligibility team. So let's say if they've got the mother that's Samoan, the father that's Australian, they put that down. Now, I think then you open that up to every World Cup cycle. They have to pick which nation that they represent. So that way it allows someone, they can represent both sides of their family at some point. But they can't just switch whenever it feels like. If they go, let's say after this next World Cup, they sit down with like To'o, Luai, Terrell May, Payne Haas. They say to them, you go now Samoa for the next 4 years or you go Australia. It's like Tino for now. Everyone basically knows he's playing for Samoa next year in the World Cup. It is just almost an inevitable it will happen. Keon, potentially Tonga as well. They should be there right now playing for those nations, helping them build into the World Cup next year. They shouldn't be able to then choose to go, all right, let's go and get the Ashes tour out of the way now. And then we'll go to next year and we'll go represent our nations. I don't like that side of it. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things here. So the first is that the way that you think about allegiance, and is it cumulative or is it exclusionary? So we often, as Australians, and when I say Australians, I generally mean like white Australians, the genesis event of Australia is Gallipoli. And Gallipoli is the myth that we talk about. When I say myth, I don't mean it didn't happen. I mean, this is the powerful story. This is the moment where Australians stopped being under the British and we stood on our own 2 feet. To be an Australian was to belong to this team at the expense of the others. So it's an honor-shame thing. You're on this team, you're not on this team. So that's generally the way we think about allegiance. That's the way we think about culture. That's why we talk about things like you defected from Australia to Samoa. That's the language we use, because when you honor one, you shame the other. A lot of Islander cultures don't think about that. Their honor and their allegiance is cumulative. So you can both honor Samoa and Tonga and New Zealand and Australia, and you just stack them, and that's totally fine. But that conflicts culturally with Australian thinking. So that's the thing that undergirds all this argument. We say, is it wrong or is it not? We have this feeling that it should be some way. We don't really know why we feel the way that we do. So when we say you should have to pick on the dotted line which team you're going to support from the start, that's because we come to the table with that honor-shame premise. This is the team that you support at the expense of the others. But the Islander guys with the Payne Haas, whatever, that's why they don't think the same way. That's why Dane Gagai played for Australia and Queensland and the Māoris and the Indigenous side against each other and found no issue with it.
because it was a cumulative stack of heritage. So there's a cultural thing that sits at the base of it. I do think, though, that as an Australian game, the Australians do get to set the culture. And so if they're the ones who make the rules, they can say things like, you must choose this at the expense of the others. And I think that's really important when it comes to Origin, because when people say Origin is an all-star game or that we have to have the best players, they haven't been paying attention since 1980. It has never been about the best players. Never, ever has it been about the best players. Fatty's Neville Nobody's 95 proves that it's not about the best players. It's about people who would die for that jersey. And you can't let mercenaries ruin that, either from Australia or any other country. If they're coming just playing for the cash, you cannot do that.
I think that,
product.
I respect what you're saying about that Polynesian sort of way of thinking, but there is a bit of friction with sport because that's right. That's your jersey. Like you don't pick and. For me, you're not going to. I'm a Knights supporter. My mum's a Knights supporter, so I'm going to be a Knights one. But Dad's a Dragons. Next year, that's your team. Like
that's right. Someone's got to set the culture, but at the moment, no one's really talking about why they feel the way they do because they haven't actually figured out why they think the way that they think. So Australia can set that standard to say it's one in, all in, but no one's actually thought about why they even think that way in the first place. So I think it's right for Australia, as they're the ones who own the competition, whatever, say, these are the cultures we play by, these are our standards, this is how we go. But you can still make room to accommodate that and have Luai play for New South Wales, because if he genuinely means it, he bleeds blue for it, great. And he can play for Samoa. But anything that just starts to become an all-stars game where now we have Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on the New South Wales side and James Graham on the other,
No, but that means
something's going to make sake.
But did RTS grow up in New South Wales?
No, that's right. So I'm saying there has to be parameters.
Yeah, so that's a very different argument. You're too smart for us to have at Pub Talk. This is supposed to be done. And you're going through history of Gallipoli, and we start World War, and like, oh my gosh,
this is lecture talk.
But
this is why we think the way that this is a nuance we actually do need in sport.
But we all live it. I don't think it matters whether we're Australia, New Zealand, what culture we're from, what country we grew up for. If we barrack, that's what the best thing about sports is. You barrack for a team, you live and breathe them. Like you look it over in all over the world in soccer and in NHL and all that sort of stuff. Like as an American, I love Orlando Magic and for American sports, I love the Orlando Magic. I live and I breathe that. I love that. Like so that colloquial stuff that you're talking about is super important. I don't like that we can pick and choose whether you can play for a country or not. Like it's, for now, I hate this Tino thing. I hate that. I hate the fact that he has that opportunity. I also don't like that for a World Cup, you can go, all right, I'm going to play here, and then next World Cup for the next 4 years, I'm going to nominate and go here. Like, I really hated in the Olympics with that cyclist that just went and won us a whole heap of gold medals. Yeah. And then literally the Olympics hadn't even finished, and he already said, next one, I'm going to go and ride for Great Britain. I hate that.
You don't want to get to the point
literally nominate. This is who you are. Like if you're playing for Australia, you play for Australia. If you play for Samoa, you play for Samoa. If you nominate that, that's what you're playing for. You don't get to pick and choose over the course, because what I think happens then is that we will get guys who will sit there and say, I can potentially make, and it's only going to be small because there's 17 players. But I can potentially make the Australian team. I think that team's going to be better in 4 years' time. So I'm going to go and play for Australia. I'm not going to play for Samoa. Oh, we've just won the World Cup. Now I'm starting to. Samoa did pretty well there with a young team. Now I'm going to go. Now I'm going to go play for Samoa at the next World Cup because I'll build with that for the next 4 years. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Yeah. I don't. I just think you sign with your national team. When you sign your first contract, you align it to that. When you get your player manager, generally that's what you've got to do. When you get your manager, you do your thing. You register to say, I'm going to play. I want to be an NRL, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm Australian. I'm Samoan. I'm Tongan. I'm Lebanese. I'm New Zealand, whatever it is.
Because surely support, like we saw the scenes out here at Suncorp with Tonga and Samoa, surely they're proud. They were Origin-like.
It was unreal.
They probably don't want to see, he's playing for us this year, but he might play for the team that there's a
you want to build. Probably doesn't happen because
you want to build that rivalry, and if there's too much of this,
but I just counter that with Dan Gagai, or you just have say someone so when I did that street talk thing and I interviewed someone, asked how to pronounce Vaimonga, and he said it's Vaimonga, and everyone in the comments said it's a Samoan name, but he's playing for Tonga. So there is I
like I've identified to you, there is two streams of cultural thinking. I am totally fine with Australia saying we are the home culture. This is our game. We get to set the rules, but you just need to acknowledge the way that you think and why.
Well, it's not really. It's Australia. It's a sport thing.
Yeah.
So it's imagine Cameron Munster playing for the Blues one year. And he goes, "Oh, Dad's a Queensland." It's just like what?
But we're seeing that already. That's exactly what we're talking about right now. We just had Roger Tuivasa-Sheck play for the Kiwis for the last couple of years.
Yeah, now it's weird.
That's what we're living in right now. So the thing is how do you solve that problem? And you won't solve it until you actually understand why you think the way you do, and then which one are you going to pick? Like, you have to pick what culture set you're going to play with before you even establish the rules off the back of it.
I think it's important to acknowledge everything you said, not to take away from it. But in a sporting environment, you got to pick.
Assign your
You're
allegiance.
talking in an Australian sporting environment.
Yeah,
And I agree, but you got to choose. You got to start in that generation.
Yeah.
Where are you all at with, let's, for instance, just say Ponga? Would you be happy with him playing for Queensland and then New Zealand?
Yes.
Yes.
And that we got to remove that tier one.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like Brimson. He has pledged his allegiance to England.
It should be allowed to
If
play
he
for
turns up
Queensland.
next year for Queensland.
Is that
I'll
after he's
have
played
an
for
issue.
Australia? Or is he's never
No,
played
it's-
again?
Can't
No,
play.
it
Like,
can't-
Just got to meet
choose-
that first prerequisite.
Yeah.
About being here before a certain
Yeah.
time and playing those games
Yep.
in Australia
Yep.
or whatever.
But
gotta
Ponga
mean
grew up
something,
here,
right?
right?
Yeah,
He says that, he's only got allegiance to New Zealand because of his dad. Yeah, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I have no problems with that.
Yeah.
If he chooses to play for New Zealand, then off he goes. But if that's what he does, that's what he's doing for the rest of his career.
He's not
He's not coming back to Australia now.
I will say
That's my opinion there.
Scrap the tier system.
Well, I disagree because and it's exactly the point I was going to make. The tier system does help countries. So remember, like when James Tedesco was playing for Italy, or what's his name for the Eels? Moses was playing for Lebanon. Like, I think that's actually good. You miss out for Australia, but you can help this lower tier nation. And the thing that's stopping Samoa and Tonga becoming tier one is not how well they perform on the field. It's all about development pathways and things back in the home country. That's the thing that's stopping them. So it's not NRL politics, it's home politics that has to be sorted out to make that flow through. But I like the fact that, you can have someone who misses out and they just have this really fringe league like Jack DeBellin playing for PNG. I don't mind it just to help them out a
I
little.
like it.
Yeah, I like that, but I just think it's absolute garbage that Brimson can't play for Queensland now because he's nominated to say he wants to play for England, or Radley was not allowed to because he nominated and said I want to be England.
Yeah,
I just think that's complete and utter garbage. That's a New South Welshman. That's literally he's a blues man. And he literally and he grew up bleeding that. He's not allowed to play because he nominated to play for England because they're tier one. The tier system needs to be scrapped.
I agree with you. The thing I do like, though, is that they made a choice and they knew what the consequences were, so it meant something to them.
Yeah, but either way,
But what I'm saying is that takes the all-star mercenary aspect out of it. The fact that you have to maybe miss out on something. So, that's what I'm arguing for in a roundabout way, that you do pick Samoa for life or Tonga for life because you choose one at the expense of the others. You do miss out, so it means
But
something
then-
that's
to
right.
them.
I agree.
What happens then, like in what you just said before, with Tedesco and Moses, who will choose Australia every day of the week? Then what happens there? when
That's
he
where you have
goes
your
to-
two nations, where basically we're saying you don't matter, or you're not very competitive, and so Teddy is fine to stop.
I think for the greater good, that needs to be kept.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go, mate. No, you can't go play for Italy. Like, who's it going to hurt?
Dom Young playing for
who-
Tonga or something.
What harm's going to be for James Tedesco suiting up for a couple of games for Italy?
Yeah.
So to wrap
Right.
this up, I reckon this would be the fair thing to say then. So tiers need to stay in terms of the international game. It suits, but that shouldn't then the tiers shouldn't be impacting Origin football.
No.
I think that's
No, once you said, that's it. And
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Then what's the point of a tier system?
And at the
because for the internationals, that's where.
For the lower ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your Moses can go back and play for Malta.
Who's gonna put their hand up at Italy?
If he says
Cleary
he's not
can go
playing
and
for,
play
if he's not going to
Ukraine
play
if he
for
wants to.
Australia, like that's
or
if he chooses,
misses out on
if he
spot.
misses out, then he can go. Yeah, like I don't mind that for like Lebanon and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't mind that because then that grows because they're going to nominate and say I want to play in the World Cup and then that means that we've
Well,
got
who's going to put up their hand and go, yeah, Lebanon? Like, let's be real.
overly Australia.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you're like, you're a fringy guy that
You're
probably not going
not getting picked.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're not going to
I-
have Teddy go, no, like lock me in. I'm Italy, 100% back.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
One final international question: do you guys want to see the ANZAC test?
Yes. Bring it back, baby. Love it. Yep. All for it.
Can it work?
Well, it's just I say yes, but then we've also been saying that we're playing too many games. So which is it? Like, is it more games or less games? Is it more international? Is it more? When are you going to have it?
My mind's thinking to the 20-round comp, basically. Everything I'm saying at the moment is
version,
thinking once we've got the expansion, which is in the next couple of years, we then resort back to a 20-round comp, whatever it is. This allows us to do these sorts of things and bring it back where we're back to just the same amount of games that we're doing at the moment.
What do you mean by ANZAC Day game? Australia versus New Zealand?
Yeah.
Don't you remember those?
No, I'm just trying to get my head around what
They
you're
weren't
saying.
ANZAC,
I get
they
it.
weren't ANZAC Day. That is ANZAC in the Sydney.
Okay, right.
Yeah, but like whatever. Like I don't really mind one way or the other. Yeah, it's nice. It's just about scheduling.
And
But-
when do they play?
Yeah. So if it's just like, hey, we had 27 games, that's too many. Let's reduce down to 20. Also, let's add 7 extra games on top. We're playing the same.
Because they're
Go
international
solve
games.
problems. So yeah.
All right, let's have a bit of fun to round out Pub Talk Season 1. Now, I've got a quiz for these 4. There is 4 of you. I am keeping a very close eye on the laptops and the phone uses for these ones.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I didn't do that out of confidence.
So, I've done this a little bit differently. So, there's 4 questions. So, and there is
We're not writing, are we?
No, you all be your buzzer is your name. So,
Mhm.
when I read out the questions, you will then start naming it. Now, if you falter at any point, you're out, and then move on, and then you can come back in once everyone else has had a turn. So up to you how confident. Now, the person who goes after the first one, let's say the first person doesn't get it all right, you have to name the answers from the start. So you can't just keep going if there's...
Can't build on it. Yeah.
You can't, you have to go from the start. So make sure you're listening as well. That's the key part. So number 1, I'm making sure there is no... Name this year's ladder positions in order from last to first.
Oh my god.
Buzzer is your name.
I don't know.
For NRL,
Yes, the NRL ladder.
Last the first.
last
to
to first.
first.
Okay, Trav. Titans.
Wrong.
It's Newcastle.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's most of what he's talking about today. I want to live in his world.
He's out of that person.
No. Then I've got the rest. But all right. Yeah. Go.
Who? I'll just have a crack because
It's not as hard.
Retro.
I'll say
Once you start.
Newcastle,
Yeah.
Titans.
Yeah.
Is it St George?
You tell me.
Well, am I right or am I wrong?
Yes,
Because I'm-
yes.
Oh, Parramatta.
Wrong.
Rolled.
Okay, Nick. Newcastle, Titans, St George, Tigers.
Wrong.
I mean,
All right. Knights, Titans, St. George, Rabbitohs.
Yes.
Ooh. St. George.
You've already said there was St. George.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Does that mean he's wrong?
No, I'll give. He's already said.
Let's go. Tigers.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah.
Tigers. I've already said rabbits, haven't I?
You like to say this.
Sorry. Oh shit. Trying to think of the teams. I'm on the spot. Cowboys.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Who's left? Who's left? I need
You're up to 11th.
I need a list in front of me. Who didn't make finals? Shit. Trying to think of all the Sydney clubs. Man, I've gone blank. Fuck, this is a lot harder than I thought.
I would have struggled if it was just top 4.
Yeah. Man, next club.
No, he's faltered, gone.
Yeah,
Go,
sorry.
Go,
I'm
Trav. Put
blank.
it out of
Is that it? Oh, we're back?
You're back.
Oh,
to-
we could
Oh,
be
Nick
here
has
forever.
I started up very quickly. I think Lee's got the furthest.
I can't even remember what I said.
back to Trav.
Don't come back to me.
All right, we'll go from 11th then. Go from 11th.
What did you just say then?
Cowboys is the last
Yeah.
one.
Cowboys. And you said Para, haven't you?
No, it hasn't
No,
yet.
so Para.
Yes.
That's 11, isn't it? 10th. Dolphins. 9.
Wrong.
Oh, no. Did I get that wrong?
Retro.
Then I was ready. I'm all good for the rest.
I don't know. No, Knights was Dolphins, but who was 10th? Warrior? No.
Wrong.
I give up.
Nick.
Let's go Cowboys, Dragons?
Dragons.
You won't let me write anything down.
You're up. I'll give you. So 17th Knights, 16th Titans, Dragons, Rabbits, Tigers, Cowboys, Eels. You're up to 10th.
And we know Knights is Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
Who's missing?
Missing.
This
This one we don't
team
lose.
This team is
Very forgettable.
useless. Most people.
That's a lot of them.
I've already said Tigers.
Most people hate this side. So
Oh, Manly.
Manly.
Yeah.
you're up to 9.
No, I said it's dangerously
See,
early.
I had them
Nine.
around the other way.
Knights Dolphins. You know that one.
Knights, Dolphins. Okay.
Now you're in the 8.
Okay, we're in the 8.
Easy now.
No, hey, oh yeah, but it's just trying to remember who was who. Okay. Come on, dust this up now, Nick.
I love how you spoke third person.
Yeah, there's a different entity. So it's the one that used to remember things.
You got to have like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to buzz me out. Yeah, count me down.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Warriors.
No, you're on the right path though. You're actually a team they versed.
This is easy.
I thought it was the one.
Oh, was. Oh my God.
Doggies?
No.
No.
Okay, so Roosters,
Yes.
Panthers, Wars, Sharks, Broncos, Bulldogs, Storm, Raiders.
Trav's on the board. Got the one. Got one. All right, number 2. How many Broncos players played in both the 2025 Grand Final and 2023 Grand Final? Don't worry, I'll give you the answer. It was 10. Now you need to name me all 10. Buzzer is your name.
Nick.
Go on.
Carrigan, Haas. That's just side. I'm in trouble already.
He's 2 in.
Ezra.
Yep.
Hey, you know that right things down.
Reece Walsh.
I was writing them down for myself.
Okay. Not Shibasaki. Not Wilson. Reynolds. Scott. Yep, it's got 5. So there's some other things to throw you guys off as well. No, I'm tapping out.
All right.
Who's in?
Trav.
Go, Trev.
Carrigan, Haas, Mam, Reynolds, Walters.
No.
Right.
No, Walters.
Wrong.
Bill did his knee.
No, well,
Oh, no, he didn't play in this game.
So
Because
Carrigan,
he did play in...
Carrigan, Haas, Reynolds,
Mm,
Mam, Jordan, Ricky.
yeah.
Yep.
Where I was going next.
Walsh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pakes. Did Pakes play both?
No.
No.
Yeah, gone.
You're all.
Oh,
They've got the right.
There's another one. Yeah. Damn it.
No, make
guy that
making
didn't
me
hate-
game this fucking thing.
Do you just want to
Of all the people.
Do you just want to tap out now?
Yeah, jeez. I've done everything I can to wipe this game from my mind, mate. I couldn't. Give me a position that hasn't been named.
Hooker.
That does feature, yes.
Both edges.
Nah. Broncos is not
Go on
strong
back.
suit.
Okay, so we're at Walsh, Carrigan, Haas, Ricky, Hetherington, Jensen.
No.
Oh.
No. No Jensen. No Jensen. Go on.
Oh, you're joking.
He know.
Oh, no.
Oh no, it's just
It's one of my favourites too.
Carrigan, Haas, Mam, Reynolds, Walsh, Hetherington, Ricky. Oh, crap. Arthurs.
No.
Oh,
He was 18th man. Didn't.
was he 18th?
I don't know.
Then
So you've got 2 left. Now
Yeah,
you man. There's 2
I'll
players.
let one
left.
of them.
Here you go.
Tyson Smoothie.
yep,
One
right.
more.
Yeah, and
You say Ezra Mam already?
Yeah.
Is that Ezra?
I'll give you a hint. The last one. He played on the bench in the 2023 Grand Final. He started in the 2025.
I literally say the starting lineup every week.
a bench player for the Broncos.
2 years ago. Okay. There's a Mariner.
No.
no.
One player. This is what we're down to. You can name any Broncos player. Go on.
Alan Langer.
No.
Nah, Alfie did start the 2023. It was T.O. this year.
Oh wait, no, it was you. No, it was Trav first. Sorry.
Picora.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Cook Islands
There you go. So just so everyone knows who was playing, Walsh, Staggs, Mam, Reynolds, Haas, Ricky, Carrigan, Smoothie, Piakura, and Hetherington. Alrighty.
I was fighting for my life that day, so I don't actually know how much I remember.
Okay, how many players played in all 5 grand final appearances for the Penrith Panthers? Again, I'll tell you the answer. It was 8.
Oh, why did
Now-
you do it once? It's like 2.
Now, name me all. This is actually pretty straightforward. Name me all 8 players who have played in all 5 grand finals.
We're going to have Cleary, Toto, Yo.
Oh, I want to say he didn't say his name first.
Yeah.
So I was just about to say, Trav.
Cleary, Toto, Yo. Leota.
4 to go.
Leota. Shit. Played in all 5.
5 seconds.
Sorensen.
No. Who wants to buzz in?
Retro, all the ones he said, and then
No, that's fine.
try
We've
to
got 4 to
speed this
go.
scab up a little bit.
So you've got
Edwards.
Toe, Cleary,
Cleary.
Leota, and Yo. You've named.
And I've just added Edwards to the
Edwards is yes.
of course.
3 to go.
Liam Martin.
Yes. 2 to go.
2 to go. Not Mitch Kenny. What about Tungo?
No.
So
Out of you two, who wants to buzz in first?
So Nick, so I can just blow it up. What he said.
Yeah.
Did I say Luai?
Yes.
Ah.
Of course.
One more.
Oh, Jesus. It's going to be a rare player as well.
No.
I can't do
it's
it.
not.
Oh.
Trav, one more. He continues to just sweep up.
Yeah,
Put us out of our misery here.
because it won't be Taruva. It's not Alamotti. It's not the McLean boys.
Kick out was gone.
Fisher Harris.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
I was Fisher. I was going to say Fisher Harris before.
The wording of the
Leota.
question, the 5 grand finals. Yeah.
So Edwards.
And we forgot
Luai-
about who left.
Everyone was
Yeah.
thinking this year. They didn't make the grand final this year.
Yeah,
Edwards,
true.
Luai, Toe, Cleary, Leota, Fisher Harris, Martin, and Yo.
The Bash Brothers.
Last one. This-
Have you not won this? Like in straight sets.
3.
yeah, but I want to see what. I've got this bit of
Cumulative effort.
This is fun.
This for 4 points,
This will
right?
test. Yes, this will be for 4 to go to the tiebreaker. Name me all premiers from 2010 to now.
Oh, retro. I can do this.
Go on.
So 2010 is the Storm.
Wrong.
What?
I can do this.
Oh, no, it's the George.
Who wants it?
No, not me.
All right. 2010, St. George. 2011 was the Seagulls. 2012 was the Storm. 2013 was the Roosters. 2014 was the Rabbits. 2015 was the Cowboys. 2016 was the Sharks. 2017 was the Storm. 2018 the Roosters. 2019 the Roosters. 2020 was the Storm. 21, 22, 23, 24 the Panthers. 25 unfortunately the Broncos.
Oh, he's done it. Now it's a tiebreaker between these two. Here we go.
Well done.
Oh no, we're out.
Well done. Well done, the United.
Now, out of you two, name me the Origin Series winners from 2020 to 25.
Oh. Trav.
Queensland, 2020. New South Wales, 21. Queensland, 22. New South Wales, 23.
Wrong.
Oh, no. No. All right, there you go.
23. New South Wales 24. Queensland 25.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that? I missed it.
Yeah, it was the, whatever the answer's on there. That's what I said.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Queensland 20, New South Wales 21, Queensland 22 and 23, New South Wales 24, Queensland 25.
Yeah, yeah.
Somehow, Links pulled that out.
Well, that was retro.
Retro,
Yeah.
everyone's had a bit
We're
of
all
fun there.
winners,
So
so
I just Bradbury that
the
grand final one for me. 0 points.
And he didn't even answer the last question.
Balls that.
You couldn't even Bradbury it because you didn't even answer it. Retro answered for you.
Balls that last one.
There you go, guys. That is Pub Talk Season 1 done and dusted. Few thank yous to make. Obviously, the Caxton Street Brewery for hosting us. It is very, very early on a Saturday morning to talk behind the scenes. So to come in and open their business literally just for us for about 4 hours is very much appreciated. To all the boys here, this is again on a Saturday. So taking basically half of your day out on a weekend, spending it with the kids and everything. Really do appreciate and can't thank you all enough for doing so. Same with Rob, the producer behind the scenes, sitting there. The crack of dawn. Thank you very much, mate. It's been fantastic and great reply so far, and everyone's loved what we've done for the season reviews, part 1 and 2, which Rob did produce. So again, just doing absolutely amazing work, and we've got plenty of great things to come as well. Did you have something?
No, I was just saying with those review that produced with these two boys here, and it's not with Nick, obviously, but
They don't like it that much.
That's understandable.
Retro told us not to.
I get it. Yeah, the point.
But that's it. Make sure, please, you go and give all these guys some support. So like, subscribe, add comments, share their posts, everything. It's like we're just touching on the creator space at the moment is doing so many wonderful things. There are so many wonderful people out there that just continues to support them, and that'll go a great way. So thank you very much. Smash that like, subscribe button for the podcast as well. It goes a long way. Let us know your thoughts about anything. If you have some great ideas out there about anything we've spoken about, we'll love to hear them as well. So thank you very much, and let's go and grab a feed and see you later.